Hi, I'm Greg. My company's name is Graceful. We're going to start with a video. Can you cue that, please?
What is this? Okay.
Hi there, my name is Grace, and I am the avatar to a digital vault that someone has given you. Inside this vault, things of value have been stored for you. This cube is the interface to your vault.
Happy birthday. Give it a turn. That's awesome. Cha-ching.
Your vault's wealth has been kickstarted with a gift of Bitcoin. It's often called digital gold. The gifter has set a time lock on your vault. This gives the assets time to grow. The countdown has begun.
Hey, sweetheart. Your father wanted you to have this.
Hey, kiddo. I love you more than words. I so wish I could be there. For your wedding present, I have left you something in this vault. It's a surprise.
So I wasn't meant to be an entrepreneur again. I had already done 2 companies, and I really thought that that was enough. But then a year ago, my best friend Alex died of cancer, leaving behind 3 kids and a wife. And it really got me thinking about my mortality. And it got me thinking about my legacy. And from those thoughts was born this thought of a company. And I asked myself whether or not technology could help us curate our legacy a little better. And I'm not just talking about money, but I'm talking about all the other things we might want to leave behind. So I strapped on my founder shoes again, and we started the company. I've got a great team. This cube is my legacy. It could also be yours or yours or yours, but for this example, it'll be my cube. And let's pretend that my daughter is here with us. And I'd walk over and I would give her the cube and I'd say, honey, this is for you. And she'll look at it, she'll say, what is it? And I'm like, think of it like a box. And inside that box, I have placed everything that I think you're gonna need for your life. I'm gonna put more things as days go on. And she's gonna say, what do you mean? What's in there? And I'll say, it could be really anything. But I've put memories, I've put messages, I've put advice, I've put documents that you're going to need. I've put some money in there. I've put some crypto, I've put my favorite NFT. Eventually, I might even put something traditional like a treasury note for you. Everything that you're gonna need is inside this. And she goes, how does it work? And I go, well, the cube is your interface. What you're gonna do is put on these AR glasses. Now, in today's world, it would use your phone because that's how you access augmented reality. But, when Apple comes out with their AR glasses, let's just kind of see where the puck's going. So she puts on the AR glasses and she looks at the cube. As you saw, an avatar comes out and guides her through the process. But as she turns to each side, what's happening is, in 3D, a different part of the vault is getting pulled up for her. For example, there is a side of the cube that relates to time. And when she looks at the time side, a 3D line emerges out. And it's centered on today. And if she turns the cube slightly, she can go back in time along the timeline, all the way back to her birth. And along that timeline, she will see that I have placed things for her in that timeline, all forms of assets. And for anything placed in the past, she can click on it with a press of her finger, and she can play or reveal them or access those assets. If she moves the cube forward or up, she moves up along the timeline into the future, 5, 10, 15 years from now. But all those assets that I've placed for her there are blurred out because she can't access or play them yet. She looks at me, she's like, what have you placed in my future? And I go, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to wait. But they're there to help you. And eventually, when that time arrives where she has reached those points in the future, going back to the video you saw, it very well could be me talking to her from the past. And that's a really unique concept that we're bringing to the table, which is talking to the future or planning for the future. Going back to my friend Alex, and then I'll take some questions. The idea was to build a company so that he could have given a cube to each one of his children. And then maybe selfishly, he could have given one to me. That's it. Thank you. There doesn't seem to be a timer here, so I'm not sure how much of the 10 minutes I've left. Oh, look at that. We got a few minutes. Okay.
What's your ask? What are you looking to raise? What do you want us to talk about?
Well, I already did a pre-seed round. Although I've thought about adding in a bit more. So, I already raised 1.5. I did that in about 3 days. But I am thinking about putting in maybe 200, 250 more into that round. Slightly different terms, I would think. We're at a Web3 conference. Anybody want to ask me about that?
Can you speak to the blockchain integration?
Right.
The assets, all the things that you bring to keep on the scene there, being tokenized, and the proprietary blockchain, gives a little detail on that.
Right. It's maybe quite disappointing for some of you. We're starting off in Web 2. Yep. Hold on. I wouldn't be here if if that was the end of the answer, right? I want it to be mainstream from the get-go. We're also, our primary audience is going to be parents and kids. And so you have to think very carefully through that in the Web3 world. But obviously there are some great Web3 applications here. So any of the multimedia assets, we are going to have a add-on whereby at a click of a button, they'll be backed up on a service like Arweave, which is a decentralized database, right? So, and then we've talked to a lot of parents who want to give crypto, and they're like, well, we don't want a custodial solution. We'd like something that's more, self-custody. And we're in the process of thinking through how do we split up the keys, right? And maybe the cube itself is one part of the key. We just need to be really careful because when you're dealing with kids, the edge cases for loss are pretty high. So we just want to think very carefully through that.
Sorry, Doug, please make sure we get a picture.
Yeah. So where is the video, the data stored? It'd be
right.
You could use a web server somewhere, but then
Yep.
you have to trust them. But having some memory inside the device somehow would be interesting. How do you guys do that now? And
Yeah,
how's
so-
it going to change?
Yeah. Again, starting from a Web 2 perspective, it's, we use Amazon Web Services to store the assets. But I think there's going to be a large contingent of parents who want that either backed up or permanently stored in a decentralized way. Right now, it's just when you're dealing with, I think, the mainstream audience, you want to keep it to things that they really understand today. But as their blockchain education increases, we can begin to do add-ons for how they'd like to do that storage.
Is it a hardware wallet also that is a chip
Inside the cube? That's a future thing, right? So I do envision, right now the cube itself is a block of aluminum. It's anodized and laser etched. So it's got a little heft, but it's also meant to last a lifetime. But eventually we think that there could be some componentry in here that will lend more features, especially around potentially security and ID verification, right? But the cube it took us a while to design this. It's beautiful. But the artwork on each side has been trained so that the AR experience knows which side you are and which part of the database to pull to then present that part of the experience. I think, am I out of time? I'm out of time.
Yes.
Great question. So we thought we were going to come out. We thought we were going to come out for Christmas. I am not yet happy with the AR. I want it to be next level, almost like Minority Report. And so we are going back to just the artwork, the 3D artwork. I mean, I want the kids to be able to just look at it and just be blown away. And so we got a little work there. I'm thinking Q1, but everyone in every state, any parent, I think, will be capable then to buy it. There won't be any restrictions.
Great. Well, thank you so much for sharing about your project, Greg. It was truly wonderful. So anybody here who's interested in the project, please be sure to speak with Greg, and please, a round of applause.
Yeah. If you want to get in touch, it's really easy. It's just greg@graceful.io. Thank you so much for your time.